Good morning, everyone. We will begin shortly. We've got a few more of folks we'll wait on until we get started here. Got a few coming in now. Hopefully everybody can hear and see okay. Just while we're waiting here, I'm going to mention we will use the chat feature. Thank you, Elizabeth and Rob, on the thumbs up. We'll use the chat feature to post questions. So if you scroll to the bottom of your screen and hit chat, you'll see a little welcome message from me, and you can post your questions there. We'll definitely answer those as we get started. So welcome, everyone. We'll give it about another minute, and then we will jump in and get started. See some familiar faces. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Give it about 15 seconds here, and then we'll jump in and get started with our virtual open house. You've got about 10 seconds to grab a coffee, water, tea, whatever you like in the morning. Looks like we've got one more that might be jumping on here. So thumbs up if you can hear me and see me okay, everybody. Awesome. Good deal. Well, let's jump in and we will get started. And like I said, we'll have a few more that'll probably join us, but want to welcome you to this Pulaski Academy Middle School Virtual Open House. We're excited to have you on this morning. And we started these events back during COVID, and they went so well, we decided, you know what, we're going to continue to do these as long as we have prospective families that want to view the school this way. And what we've decided and what we found, having done a number of these now, is that this is kind of like the appetizer to the meal. It's kind of just a sample. It's not actually the full meal. And really what we consider to be the full meal is a campus tour. So if you've not toured the campus before, we want to encourage and invite you after this open house to come and tour. If you have a student that would like to shadow, we can do that as well. So at the end of the meeting this morning, I'll share a little bit more about how you can sign up and register for those. But just want to reiterate that that again, this is just really kind of a sample of what the school is like and what the curriculum and program is like. The tour, we believe, is really where you'll get the heart and the feel for Pulaski Academy. So if you haven't toured, I invite you to do that. We'll talk more about that. I don't think that we'll have any issues with the camera as we kind of move through the middle school, but if we do, just know we'll pause, and our crew that's on site in the middle school now will get to a spot where they can find a little bit clearer, a little bit better Wi-Fi reception. And again, we're going to use the chat feature, which if you scroll to the bottom of your screen, hit chat, and that should pop up. And just so I know that everybody knows how to use the chat feature, if you've been on with us before, or if you're on with us last week for our early childhood school event, you may have heard me ask this question. But in the chat feature, I would like for you, I'm going to ask this question. If you'll put your answer in there, tell me, in your opinion, what is the worst song of all time? The worst song of all time, in your opinion. Just type it in the chat feature there, and I'm interested to kind of see what everybody has to say. The worst song of all time, in your opinion. Everybody's thinking. Interesting. No takers yet. Boy, we had some last week, some red wines. Happy Birthday was one of them. Worst song of all time.
Ours down here, Matt, is
Achy Breaky Heart, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's
a great one. And Julie, you came up with
Baby Shark.
Baby Shark.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that one too. That's exactly.
Well, we have
I
one.
can't wait to hear what our audience has
Well,
to
here's
say.
one from Elizabeth and Rob. Let it go. I agree. Man, I tell you, when my kids were younger, we sang that way too much. So let it go. Good. Well, we'll let you think about it if you come up with something. Totally agree, Baby Shark. That's good. Well, just a little fun, interactive way. And again, if you have a question, please feel free to post it there, and we're certainly going to try to answer that. But I'm going to turn this over to Greg Ledbetter. Greg is our head of enrollment and financial aid, and Greg has had two kiddos go through PA and are now on their own, adults, gainfully employed, and has two grandchildren that are here now. So Greg's got a great perspective on the school from multiple generations. Justin Robkin, who is head of our middle and upper school, is with us. And then Julie Hathcote, who's our middle school dean, is with us. And they're going to kind of guide us through a middle school tour. Greg, I'm going to turn it over to you and spotlight your video and let you guys, let you introduce them and take us on a tour.
Thank you, Matt. Yep. And we're so glad that you're here. And you're going to just hear us say over and over, you know, to get the real feel of the school, you got to come on campus. So we're very fortunate to have Justin Robkin, our head of upper school and middle school, with us, and Julie Hathcote, who is our dean of students, or our dean of middle school, excuse me. So we're just going to kind of give you a 50,000-foot view. We're not going to take a lot of your time, again, because we just kind of want, the way I look at this is it's sort of a live web search. We know that you've been on our website, you've looked around, you've gotten some information. This is sort of an extension of that, but in a live version, if you will. So we're thinking of a catchy name. If you think of one along the way, we've thought about this as a middle school snapshot, or a middle school trailer, or a middle school teaser. We're thinking of different names that we could promote this as. If you have one, put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you as well. But what we pride ourselves a lot about is just the wisdom that comes from experience and time here at PA. I was just talking to Justin. Justin has been in education for 20 plus years, 24, 25 years, been here for 10 years now. Julie has 17 years of experience in education, has been here for 7 years now. I've been here for 28 years, and these guys do such a great job. It's hard to even sense that they haven't been here for the whole 28 years. So we're just going to pop in and move around and pop into some classrooms. They're going to share some of the assets of the middle school. And again, we think that what you need to do really to get the feel, and hopefully if you come on campus, you would get the chance to meet them, but obviously they've got jobs to do. Things are going crazy. So this is just a great time to kind of meet the leadership of the school too. We'll meet some teachers, right? I guess that's the direction that we're going to go. So if you're ready, and forgive me, number one, we're going to be in and out of mask. Right now, we're in a position where we don't have to be in mask. We move into a classroom, we need to be in mask. So you might see me, my finger coming up and punching because I'm on an iPhone. So forgive the big ugly finger coming at you sometimes. And then we may pause for a minute to get into a mask, so we go into a classroom. So just to kind of give you some warning there. But thank you for being with us. We're just going to give you a kind of a brief look, hoping that you'll then schedule a time to come and visit. You're going to hear us repeat that over and over. And also, shadowing is a good opportunity for you and your child to get to know the middle school a little better. So Matt, remind me of where our focus is on the grade levels. I'm trying to find my list. Are we primarily, what grades do we have on the camera?
In sixth grade, got a couple seventh and a couple eighth, but I think fifth and sixth grade is a focal point.
Gotcha. So we're pretty much in every area. So that's what we're going to cover. All right. I'm going to just put my mask on because I'm coming behind the camera. We're going to follow them kind of like if you were here with us. And you'll see my big finger come and switch things around, and then off we'll go. Anything y'all have to say before we get started?
I would just say, welcome to the virtual version of our open house. Like Greg said, we've been here together 7 years. I've been here 10. My daughter's in 7th grade. She started PA in pre-K 3. She loves it. It's a community, and what we do in middle school is really take them in 5th grade. We focus on obviously academics and that foundation, but also behavioral stuff, social stuff, the 4 core values, because really we got 4 years to get them ready for high school. With me being over the upper school as well, I kind of know what they need to have in place in order to be successful up there. So it's really the whole child, making sure they're happy. They've got electives they can choose from. They're going to get their basic core courses. They're going to make good friends. They're going to learn how to be responsible young adults. And we really it's all hands on deck. Our teachers love our kids. And if you ask every kid walking through here today, they're glad to be at school. So we know we're doing something right if they're glad to be here.
Right, absolutely. I think we're going to go into a 5th grade classroom and we're going to meet one of our teachers, but we're going to elaborate a little bit more on what our 5th and 6th grade schedule is like, and just kind of like the daily life in a 5th grader or a 6th grader's life here at school. So we're going to pause and head on down there and we'll be right back.
All right, I'm going to flip us around. And here we go. Let's see, did I flip us around? Yes.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to get everything in gear. So forgive me just for a second while I get this in order. And off we are going to go. All right, here we go. All right, this is the entrance into the middle school. And hallway in that area in the back is 7th and 8th. We're walking down 5th grade. And I don't want to make you dizzy, but then that's where we'll go for 6th grade. So right when you walk into the school, you'll see the 5th and 6th grade hallway, and they're in their own little area.
Right, our 5th and 6th grades pretty much function in this same hallway. They don't have to travel very far. So that's good for timing. They can make it to their classes on time. But one thing about 5th and 6th grade is all of our teachers are pretty much trained in elementary backgrounds. So they have a lot of the nurturing aspects, and they're very understanding as far as the transition from lower school to middle school. We know that's a huge step for them, but developmentally, we really feel like it's appropriate. But our teachers are so great at fostering that transition and making it a seamless one for all of our kids. So we're going to come down here. Beautiful. As you can see, as we're walking, the kids in 5th grade have a locker. And again, the teachers are really good about helping them with their locks and helping them understand what materials to bring to each class. So no kid is outside just afraid of how to get my locker open. They do a great job of training them appropriately.
Oh, that looked like my son's locker when he was here. Yep.
There definitely some are more tidy than others.
Some of them I always say look like their bedroom, I mean, it's like a college dorm room or something.
Well, the 5th graders, they love to decorate, because obviously they're 10-year-old kids, so they like to really decorate them. We have to sometimes talk them down off the ledge. They want to put all these chandeliers and stuff in there. There's just not enough room for their books. So.
Okay, so we're right here in our 5th grade technology class. This is the 5th grade technology teacher, Miss Glass. Hi. And Miss Glass has been with us. Is this your third? It is my third year.
Third year. Wow.
Third year at PA.
Seems like it's been forever.
22nd year in education.
Again, that experience and wisdom that comes with that. Awesome.
So do you want to just kind of tell them about like the classes that they have in 5th grade and kind of what you do in your class and just preparing them for what's to come in the transition from 4th grade?
Yeah, absolutely. So when the kiddos transition from 4th to 5th, we kind of like to think of us as the people that kind of get their wings ready and then they can fly all the way through to high school. So we ground them in teaching them that AB schedule, the block scheduling, different types of freedoms that they get when they get a little older. So it's really nice to kind of train them to be the best student they can be throughout their whole PA experience.
That's awesome.
I teach technology. We do a wide array of things in here. I do a lot with English, math, science, history. Right now we're working on a Veterans Day web quest. We've written stories and done storyboards. We do a lot in the G Suite, so they can further their knowledge there. They also get basic keyboarding in 5th and 6th grade. So we work a lot on their keyboarding skills. Then they have science for a 90-minute block, English and literature, history, and math. So they transition every day on an AB schedule. So one day they'll have me, the next day they won't, type thing. And then we have an X period where they get to go around to all their teachers and ask questions for clarification of homework and things like that. So.
And classes end up being, just 4 classes a day, end up being how long?
90 minutes. each.
90 minutes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which is
So
good
right
for
now-
instruction, right? It
Oh,
gives
it's very
yep.
nice. Yes, because we can get a lot done. And right now they're in PE or music or art or Spanish. So they get that for 90 minutes as well, which is really nice to kind of decompress from the rigorous academics we have here and then come back ready to roll. So
One thing Ms. Glass mentioned, and I just wanted to touch on, is our rotating block schedule. If you look at our schedule on a piece of paper, it can be a little overwhelming. But one thing that I know we really pride ourselves on in having that schedule is because it's rotating, we get to see the best in every kid every day. So if you're more of a morning person and you have math first, then that's great for you. Whereas if you were a morning person and you had math last every single day, that would be a bit of a challenge. So because of the rotating block, we get to see the best of each kid every day.
That's awesome.
It's really nice too from the teacher's perspective, because the very first time I teach a lesson, I kind of have to modify and adjust some. So there's not the same class getting my first lesson every single time.
Right.
So it's really good that they get to rotate like that.
Awesome. Awesome.
One thing we have in our 5th and 6th grade classes that Ms. Glass didn't mention is our guided study class. The purpose of our guided study class is kind of to just get one more touch on our students. In that time, we use it in a variety of ways. We use it to refine some math skills. Like right now, I know it's division and multiplication, and so they'll just play some mathematic games. They do the same thing in literacy. She'll do some grammar games just to kind of refine some of those skills that we feel like we're lacking. So it's just an additional touch for us to meet with our kids again. Ms. Glass particularly focuses on our social and emotional learning piece.
Awesome.
We know that it's really important for kids, especially now after COVID, to be more in touch with what's going on. Why am I feeling frustrated? Why am I feeling sad? And Ms. Glass does a wonderful job of really kind of helping the kids figure out their feelings and how to express those in an appropriate way.
And we use 2 programs for that: the ruler approach, where we talk about our mood meter and feelings, and then the social institute. And this year we're incorporating a lot of emotion that comes with just the maturity of having social devices like children have these days. So it's really nice to kind of be aware of different things that they can learn how to be appropriate with those and stay positive and not get into any type of social situation with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well said. I love that.
Well, thank you, Ms. Glass.
Thank you. Yes. Awesome. So
We're going to now transition to a 6th grade classroom. All of our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students are in classes, so we're not going to have the benefit of interviewing a teacher as candidly as we were with Ms. Glass, but we will have the opportunity to see the students at work, see the teachers at work, and to look into a glimpse into their day as well.
awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Great job. All right. We're going to stay on the air and we are just going to move. And here's Miss Conine. This is a planning time for the teachers as well. So, yeah, right. Oh, a little science area, 5th grade. All right. Back down the 5th grade hallway, headed to 6th grade. What I love about Mr. Robkin and Ms. Heathcote too as well, as you can see our core values listed up as we walk through the hallway.
One thing that we have introduced this year is we have a core value award. And each month, the teachers in our guided study classes and also during our experience, they kind of hone in on one of our core values. Our core values are respect, responsibility, integrity, and excellence. So 1 month we'll focus on one of those words, and we'll be trying to identify what makes you responsible, what makes you respectful. And we also identify at the end of every month, several kids, it's usually 6 per grade level, that have really practiced that core value. So then we'll have a core value award ceremony during lunch and bring those students on stage, and they get a prize and they get recognition. So that's one thing that we've done this year to really kind of focus. We've always had our core values and we've always instilled these things in our students, but really just found a way to identify. You have really, worked hard this month on showing respect, responsibility, excellence, and integrity. So we'll go to our 6th grade classroom. We're going to step into Miss Maple's classroom. She is our English teacher, and she might pop out and might be able to talk. We'll just have to wait.
Awesome. I love it. You can see 6th grade lockers down here as well.
And 6th grade gets 2 lockers. Because books and stuff up top, backpack stuff down on the bottom.
Wow.
So that's a big deal for 6th graders, getting 2 lockers.
Getting 2 lockers.
Right.
All right. I love how she puts on her door things that are needed. Here we go.
Let me blow that whistle. Let's start. Left, right, left.
Left, right, left.
What do you say?
Hey, what do you say?
Boot camp is back today.
Boot camp is back today.
Sentence structures, what's on tap?
Sentence structures, what's on tap?
Simple compound complex, how about that?
Simple compound complex, how about that?
Causes certainly bring it all.
One is certainly bring it all.
Subjects and verbs, they stand tall.
Subject and verbs, they stand tall.
Independent clauses stand alone.
Independent clauses stand alone.
Dependent clauses live at home.
Dependent clauses live at home.
Okay, what comes next after this? You can tell me.
Square
Square dancing. Yes. So let's see who our partners are going to be today. Brooklyn, your partner is Isabel. The cards have it. Anson, your partner is Joshua. Toll, your partner is Aaliyah. Let's see your partner. Alex, your partner is Owen. Elise, your partner is Isaac. Taylor, your partner is Zeta. Eleanor, your partner is Bud. Aaron, your partner is Rowden. And Graham, your partner is Sturdog. Are we ready? Let's put that cotillion to good use now. Grammar and cotillion doesn't get any better than that. There's your partner. Okay, here we go. Compound sentences.
Compound sentences.
Two independent clauses.
Two independent clauses.
Compound sentences.
Compound sentences.
Two independent clauses.
Two independent clauses.
Compound sentences.
Compound sentences.
One independent, one dependent.
One independent, one dependent.
Complex sentences.
Complex sentences.
One independent, one dependent.
One independent, one
Oh,
dependent.
congratulations, you're back to your seats now. Okay, now let's remember when we have our test on Thursday, what do I call a test?
Celebration of knowledge.
A celebration of your sentence structure knowledge. You can use your dancing, you can use the chant, and you can use your mathematical formulas to what? Make an A on that celebration, correct?
Yes.
Who knew grammar and math were so close? Did you know that, Leah?
Wow.
I would like to thank you for really putting on a show.
Structure.
Oh, you still have us, Matt?
Still got you. Can you? Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I would like to say she was just putting on a show, but that's every day in the life of Miss Maple's classroom.
Awesome.
So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna transition into our 7th grade curriculum. Were there any questions for 5th and 6th grade that we had?
Any questions, Master?
Just regarding computer science, and the question was in middle school, do we do any type of coding or computer programming in computer science or in technology in middle school?
Yes, we do. We have a coding course and an additional, it's called an after-school extra. And Miss Glass, the teacher we just spoke with, actually teaches that. But there's an element of coding in each teacher's curriculum. So it's hit mostly in our 7th grade curriculum, but every technology teacher, 5 through 8, hits a piece of coding in one of their units.
Awesome.
But as far as like a class, that's an after-school extra that Miss Glass teaches.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Matt, we're going to stay on and walk if it doesn't make anybody nauseous.
No, it looks great.
Okay.
Yeah.
It gives you kind of just a look at the school too. And here again, just the sort of the accenting our core values, which are very important to us as an independent school, where we sort of hang our hat is on not only just on academics, but certainly on character and belongingness and wellness. And
I would add, like I said at the beginning, at this age, middle school children they're going through puberty and just, their mood and tempers and, everything changes from day to day as far as how they are. So what we really try to do is focus on everything, it's obviously our academics, stand the test of time, anybody could tell you that. But what we do, keeping them focused and relationships and being nice to their classmates and respect and especially responsibility, because that's the biggest thing. I think kids nowadays, especially with these iPhones, they tend to want they want stuff instantly, so we try to teach them patience. You got to be responsible and take care of your work. And sometimes it takes time. And, that really gets them prepared for 9th grade.
awesome. Awesome. And here's also another aspect of the where we're talking about the award winners, right?
Right.
Mrs. Hathcote?
These are our award winners for our first month in September. We identified these kids for respect. These were our kids who were identified as showing responsibility.
Awesome. I think that's really cool. Okay.
Learning commons, which we share with upper school. Lots of research goes on in here. Obviously, a love of reading and the importance of reading for pleasure, but all of our teachers, all of our English classes, they do research projects. They write, kids from PA, when they graduate from here, they go to college and they're the best writers in their class. I talked to a freshman at our last football game who's up in Fayetteville. And he said, man, you couldn't believe how many people asked me to help them with papers. And he's fall of his freshman year at Fayetteville, University of Arkansas. So he said, it's everything I picked up at PA from 5th grade on. So that's good to hear.
Awesome. Justin's right. I do the same thing with alumni, and writing is a big area. Study habits, discipline to stay on task are some great traits that flow through the whole school, but certainly are really brought to life here in the middle school. All right, so where are we going now? Let's have to.
So this is a 7th grade science class. Right now they're doing some research. So they're all working pretty independently, but you can kind of stop through and take a little peek at what our science labs look like and our students working away.
It's actually, Ms. Hadcoat, we're 1-to-1 on laptops.
5th through 8th grade.
If you see all their laptops, we're 1-to-1 all the way, 5th through 8th. And when they get into 9th grade, they're one-to-one, but the students have the choice of what kind of computer they want to use.
I got you. We're actually now one-to-one all the way down into the first grade. So a lot of our kids who are younger come up with some experience already, but we're also getting them prepared when they're up here as well, right?
Well, you would be amazed how the kids, once we started going one-to-one down into lower school, it really changed the game of what we were teaching in fifth grade, because they're coming in with so much knowledge of how things work, that now we're covering a lot more stuff all the way up through eighth grade because they're just more advanced.
And we are in uniforms, as we see here too as well.
I'll kind of talk about that.
All right, good job.
About, if you don't mind, about just about students coming in from other schools. One of the questions parents asked was, coming in from maybe another school, obviously we have an admissions process, but there may be some areas a student could be a little bit behind in research and writing. And what are those ways that we can help kids kind of get caught up where they need to be? Or what opportunities are there to help them get caught up?
Well, the first thing we do is just look at their transcripts, because like we have algebra in eighth grade here. Some schools don't have it till ninth. So we just look at their transcripts and make sure we're putting them in the right courses. And it may be that for a year or so, maybe they have one class that's on a different grade level, just based on where they came from. But then the teachers work
Right.
closely with them.
The teachers work really closely with all of our students. And we understand even still, all of our students that have been here for forever, we're all on different, paths. We all have different speeds of learning things. But that's one thing that I love about PA is that we have a really individualized approach. The teachers really care a lot about all of our kids, and we just want each kid reaching their best potential. So they'll work with students during X period, and they'll pull certain kids if they need to work on this skill. So teachers will pull like small groups during that time, or they'll work with students before school or after school. Our teachers do a wonderful job, and they're very flexible in making sure that some of our kids who need a little bit more reinforcement receive that. We do have a class called Learning Lab. And in that class, if you are identified as a student with a learning disability, whether that's ADHD or dyslexia or something of that nature, you could be placed in our Learning Lab. In the Learning Lab, it's an 80-minute class, which would be an elective course. And our Learning Lab teacher really helps the students stay organized in their classes and helps them prepare for upcoming tests, helps them write some of those papers, and just helps scaffolding them along the way, because we do understand that students need different things at different times.
Yeah, the students here may say all the time, we all have a different best. Like I may be best at math and my best in English is down here. As long as you're reaching your best, that's what we want.
That's awesome.
And really, one thing that I love about PA is my daughter did transition to PA in fifth grade. So that was a new, experience for her. But she really told me, she said, I've never been at a school where all my teachers really care. And that's one thing I can really say. The teachers genuinely care about each student as if they're their own. But one thing too is that the kids here, it's really cool to be in a sport, or it's really cool to be in the band. It's cool to be really smart here. So, whereas at her last school, she didn't really care what grades were on her report card. I mean, she was a high achieving student, but that didn't matter to her. But here it matters, and everybody wants to do their best. So it's just really neat to see that every kid's best gets highlighted in some way.
Yeah, I could say another, we have a lot of new families here this year, I think. What are we up? Probably at least in middle school, 30 families, if not more.
Closer to 50.
We're close to 50, right. And a guy who, I kind of helped work on getting here with admissions. I ran into him at the first or second football game. And I said, well, how's it going? He said, she loves it. I wish we had been here the whole time. And he's got a sixth grader and a third grader. So he said, they're glad they made the transition for sure.
And one thing you'll do when you tour, you'll get more exposure and opportunity to visit with the teachers to recognize their passion and love, Julian, and for the middle school grades. I think that takes a special sort of a special attitude or a special
We're
sense
all-
of gratitude?
We're all a tad bit crazy to deal with this. We've got a little crazy.
That's right.
It takes crazy to know crazy, right?
If you wanted to just kind of, we're not going to stop
yep.
at this class, that's an art class right there.
This is Miss Cope's art class.
Okay.
And art. Hi, Miss Cope. How are y'all doing? We just have a few families on here that are just kind of looking and exploring what we do. So everybody say hello.
We're shading, we're putting value in doing
Oh,
turkeys.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just take a peek. That is really nice.
Thank you.
Goodness gracious.
And see how it kind of blends that in. I'd run it, I really would do it kind of this
Nice.
direction.
Awesome.
You want to draw the eye this way. And you actually do that with the way the pencil goes. The last thing, well, you'll need to clean this up so that you can kind of see where your line should be. Then imagine that your sun or your light is coming this direction. So if my light is here, the part that's sticking out is going to be in highlight. So all of that, you'll still have shadow here. That part, some here, some here. And you can look at the screen and you can see there's some highlight right there too. Just to try to mock what you see right there. And snagging this.
I think one thing that Julie and Justin do really well is just supporting our teachers. And you just go into a classroom like that and you can see that it's an environment for learning for sure.
So the last little stop on our tour is going to be an 8th grade math.
Ooh,
So this is our algebra class. Our teacher is Miss Hurtado. I'm not sure if she'll be available to speak to us, but we can just kind of pop in. One thing I want you to notice is that all of the tables in our math classes are the right-on tables. So the kids can just do their work as they're learning, and it just really makes learning math a whole lot.
It's like them having their own big whiteboard right in front of them, so they can practice and erase it, practice and erase it, practice and erase it. And it's just repetition that really helps.
and I'd ask y'all if this is good. I mean, if you feel like this is being helpful, you maybe give me a thumbs up that you're finding this to be valuable. If you can give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. Awesome. Good. Thank you.
Through the point -7 and it parallels the line y equals -4x plus 1. So what do you notice? We have what? What do they give us? The cat was on to something. He was right. They give us a yes. How can we find the slope?
We can find the slope by because the you can find the slope because it's parallel to the
Look at the line. How can we find the slope? You're exactly right when you said we use point slope formula. Why?
because the parallel equation would have the same slope.
So what's the slope of this line? Right. So if you look at this line, it is -4. That's our slope. Okay. And it gives us 1 point. So if you think back to our last lesson, you have 1 point, you have the slope. Now, what did we just learn about parallel lines? What do you know about parallel lines and slope?
They're the same.
Yes. So the slopes have to be the same. Okay. So our slope has to be -4. So now we're going to use the point slope formula that we learned about, and we're going to find the second line so that these two lines are parallel to one another. Okay. What's the point slope formula? Yep. Y minus y1 equals our slope times x minus x1. Now we just simply plug in, fill in from here, right? So we have y and then minus y1, which is 7. Equals.
That's how she was using technology in that classroom. That was pretty cool.
That's been some of the good things about, our experience with COVID. Although that was a pretty traumatic year, we have all learned a different way to teach and a different way to learn. And so she implements a lot of technology into her lessons. And any time a student is sick or absent, all of her lessons have been recorded and uploaded, so they really don't miss a thing. We don't like to advertise that to our students because then we're like, oh, they might check out and then say, oh, I can watch the rest of them later. So we really, but you can see they were all very well engaged.
Some of these kids
It's
can,
amazing what they'll do.
yeah, when you're working with smart kids, they sometimes can be smarter than what we would like for them to be. That's right. Okay. Anywhere we're headed now?
We can head, this was pretty much the stop on our
Okay.
tour, but
Yep.
if there was anything else that they would like to see, we'll be happy to show them that.
What do you think, Matt? Any questions? Anything that we can answer?
Yeah, one question that's come up is just about start and finish time. And then anything after school, if a student needs to stay after for any reason, what do we offer?
Let's come this way because
Okay.
this is kind of.
Kind of right there. Yep.
So our doors open at 7:30, but students, and they wait in the lobby, students can go to their lockers at 7:45. School starts at 8:10. Now, from that 45 to 8:10, they can set up appointment times if they want to go see a teacher before school. That's a 25-minute window they can go visit with them. And then after school, teachers are here till 3:40. So if they want to work out a time with the teacher, they can go visit the teacher after school. We get out at 3:10. So that's another 30 minutes after school. So they got 30 after, 25 before. So that's 55 minutes. Plus when they have their X periods, that's a time if they need to go, get clarification or get a question answered, they can do that. So technically 30 plus 25 plus 30, they got an hour and 25 minutes every day outside of all their classes when they can go and get help with something they need. Now, we do encourage them, like, don't just show up out of nowhere, because if the teacher doesn't know they're coming, they may not be in their room. But if they, that's part of that responsibility, being proactive and saying, hey, can I come meet with you after school today? I have a few questions about our math test, So we let them do that. And they, for the most part, the kids pretty well take advantage of it. They're still middle school kids, and sometimes it takes the parents nice urging to make sure they set some appointments if they need them. But for the most part, they use it.
I just saw a question pop up, Mr. Ropkin. Do we have a swim team? Which
we have a swim team, and I think it's only high school. I'd have to check. I don't know that there's a middle school or junior high swim team or 8th graders swim. I'll look, and I'd have to look it up. Some sports are specific to high school. Some sports go down as far as 7th grade. Now we have grade school level, girls volleyball, girls basketball, boys football. So they can play that in 5th and 6th grade. And then they have cheer and stuff like that. They can start taking beginning band. When did they start beginning band? 5th or 6th? 6th grade. And then, the drama kicks up in 7th grade. But yeah, I'll check on the swimming.
Yep.
For example, like I also coach the boys and girls golf teams, but those are just high school. Right. They don't have a junior high golf, but there is junior high tennis, so we have 7th and 8th graders who play tennis. So it kind of
gets a little confusing.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
We started lacrosse. I worked with some parents who wanted to get lacrosse here about 4 or 5 years ago. And so we do start lacrosse. There's a middle school age group, and then the high school, and they can start doing that in 7th grade. And that's a fun sport, boys and girls. I mean, they're on separate teams, but it's a good spring sport, for kids that are really active.
I do know that what I tell parents is a lot of our middle school kids are on swim teams with the racket club or the athletic club. Yeah, not that I know of. That's exactly right. Yeah. But we have actually our high school swim team has done pretty well over the last few years for a school that doesn't have a pool.
Right.
By the way, so okay, I hadn't seen anything else, Matt. What do you think?
Don't have any more questions, but I will mention I'll send out an email this afternoon with a list of student activities and sports for middle school and upper school, so everybody can kind of see what's offered there, in addition to a course guide. So a lot of the course
guide, yep,
we talked about, we'll send out this afternoon. But want to make sure we hit every question. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I was going to add too, we started a couple of years ago when I took over the upper school also, just helping that transition from 8th to 9th. So now our 8th graders are allowed to join clubs that are high school based clubs. So they can go up and kind of get a taste of upper school and start meeting some of those teachers. And, retention wise, it really helps because it doesn't seem like upper school is this whole new big crazy world they're not used to. They spent their whole 8th grade year going up there. Some of them have foreign language classes up there. They're in the clubs. So it just makes the transition really easy for the kids.
Okay, any closing comments, you two?
Nothing. We would love to see you or your kids on campus. So we would love the opportunity to show you what we just raved about. We think you would agree.
I would say set up a shadow day. I mean, we've got the rest of this week, next week, then we're out for Thanksgiving. When we come back, we have a week of instruction, a week of review, and then a week of finals. And you probably obviously don't want to come on the week of finals. So if you wanted to do something sooner, I would say next week or one of the weeks after that. And if not, we'll be here all spring.
And that's what, Matt, I noticed, I did see that question about the admission timeline. You may want to share about our early admissions. We've got a December cutoff there if you want to know before the winter break. And then we'll be back on rolling admissions once we come back after the first of the year. So you can get early notice if you want, but also most of our activity for middle and upper school happens in January through the spring. So
we'll include a link to the application as well in there, but I don't know if everybody can see my screen here, just sharing a couple of links. Our PA Campus Experience Hub, that's a hub where you can go and schedule a campus visit or a shadow, pacampusvisits.com. If you don't see a date there, or you've got a date that's farther out, just email or call us and we'll find one. And then our virtual admission center is a great resource, thepavacc.com. Lots of great content there, a lot of great ways to connect with the campus and community. Our blog, our podcast, we've got recorded webinars, just a lot of different ways you can connect with us. So I just wanted to share those with everybody. And yeah, this is appreciate everybody being on, and want to thank Justin and Julie and Greg for the tour. And as we said at the beginning, this is just kind of a snapshot. So we would love to have you come on campus and tour, or if your child would like to shadow or both, please contact us, make plans to do that. So appreciate everybody being on. Have a great morning. We're looking forward to meeting you in person soon. So y'all have a great day.
Bye, guys.